I've received many requests asking me to share how it was that I was able to retire at the age of 55. And I got to be honest, I'm not comfortable talking about that because investing and financial advice, it's not my niche. But since you asked, I'm going to do two things in this video. One, I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory about how I got here and how I was able to walk away from corporate America after I was laid off. And the second, I'm going to give you 9 YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to that actually specialize in early retirement, the FIRE movement, etc. So here are the 2 things that made it possible for me to retire at the age of 55. 1, people instilling in me how important it was to start to save and invest when I was in my early 20s. And one of those people was my grandfather. And I've talked about him in some of my other videos and how he instilled in me that I'm supposed to work hard. The other thing that he instilled in me too was that I should save and invest and whenever possible pay cash for whatever it was that I needed. So that plus when I got my very, very first job where I had benefits, not flipping burgers or something like that, a lady sat me down right before it was time for me to pick my benefits. And she said, "Here's what you're going to do. You are going to invest in the 401k and you're going to put in the minimum of what it takes to max out the company match. So if the company matched up to 6%, that is the minimum you're going to be able to put in. You put in more, that's gravy, but I'm not going to let you give away free money. That is your money. You take advantage of it." And the second thing that helped me get here was I lived within my means. And I know that I talk about living in the McMansion and I talk about some of the trips that we've taken. The trips were splurges. The McMansion was not. I had to move 2 counties over to afford the McMansion. I mean, I paid probably like 1/5 or 1/6 of what it would have cost for me to buy that same type of house in Los Angeles or Orange County. There it was completely out of my reach. So while I looked like I was keeping up with the Joneses, I really wasn't. I was just a Joe Blow, Joe Schmo, living the life that looked like Riley on a bare bones budget. And so these things, coupled together, starting to save and invest early and living within my means, that is what helped me get to this point. Saving, investing with the goal of retiring by 59 and a half. And then corporate America had other ideas. They laid me off at 55, and I knew there was no way I wanted to jump back into the corporate rat race. And so, sitting down with our financial planner, what we had done over the years really worked out, made it completely fine for me to walk away. Now, I have a caveat. I walked away. My husband still works, so I'm not having to pay for, you know, insurance, medical insurance, outside in the marketplace or individually. All of these things are now being covered because he's still working. So there's a caveat there. And that's pretty much all can offer to the whole early retirement conversation. So, like I said, since retirement planning and strategies, investing, and FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early, is not my niche, I'm going to share with you 9 channels that I personally subscribe to that as I've moved into my early retirement, I really love the content that these creators put out because it's grounded in reality. It's not in any way, shape, or form a list in rank. It's just how this worked out. I love them all for different reasons, but I have the list broken out into 2 parts. One are professional financial planners, and then the other part are DIYers, people like me who were, either laid off or decided to retire early and started channels to share their knowledge and help others. So first up, we're going to talk about the professional pages. And excuse me if I look down at my notes, I really don't want to mess up anyone's channel name or anything like that. So the first professional channel is Your Rich Auntie. And Your Rich Auntie is run by Robin. And Robin is a wealth manager as well as a certified financial planner and certified private wealth advisor. She's straight up, she tells it like it is. She shares tips that most people will never hear talking to a financial planner because she wants you to succeed. So she's seen the videos that only show one part of the story, and she fills in the gaps so that you actually have the whole story so that you can succeed in the retirement that you envision for yourself. The second professional channel is Streamline Financial. And Streamline Financial, Dave Zoller is the face of that channel. And Dave is also another, certified financial planner. And his key areas of expertise are really around retirement planning, which includes tax efficient withdrawal strategies, investment planning, and tax reduction strategies. And what I really appreciate about Dave and his content is he's one of the few financial planner channels out there that I have seen that looks at it from a holistic perspective. It's not just about those things that I just talked about, money, 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 taxes, taxes, taxes. He also talks to his clients about their aspirations. Is it more important for them to focus on family? Is it to focus on faith? Is it to focus on health? Or is it a combination of those things? And he tries to help them sit down and figure that out and how they can retire around those strategies. And he also really emphasizes that once you retire, you can't sit at home and just watch TV. You got to try to find a purpose or your retirement is going to fail. Really love that about a professional financial planner bringing up those ideas and those strategies and those concerns. And then there's Fidelity Investments. I mean, we all know about Fidelity Investments. I know about Fidelity Investments because they were the company that managed my company's 401k. And then after I left the job, they are still the people that manage my money. I trust them. I love their tools. I've been using their tools, gosh, probably since I was 30. So I'm used to it. I'm familiar with it. I love that I can walk into a local office and talk to a person. And so it's not that my money's just sitting off in oblivion. Plus, at this stage in my life, there is no way I want to sit down and try to manage when to buy, when to sell, how to balance out my portfolio. I am going to let somebody else do that. So I really appreciate that channel. There are a lot of good videos out there that actually talk about the different types of investments and dives into it. They have live streams as well as webinars. So check them out. I think that you're really going to enjoy these three professional channels. But if you're like me, you probably want to see proof of how real life people are putting this stuff into action and putting it into practice. And that's why my next six are DIY channels. And they're DIY channels that cross the spectrum. So they all do something a little bit different. And that's why I'm subscribed to them. So again, in no particular order, first up is Chris Robinson, Life After Work. Oh, I should probably say that's not just Chris, but all of these DIY channels are all fellow Gen Xers. They either retired on their own plan to retire early, or they decided that after they were laid off, they were going to retire, like I did. So first up is Chris Robinson, Life After Work. And Chris is a former HR executive from Silicon Valley, as well as a cancer survivor. And she realized when she was laid off that there really is just a lot more to life than the corporate grind. And so she retired. Her channel focuses on her sharing her journey towards a fulfilling life after work and embracing the importance of finding joy and purpose in retirement. And that's what's going to set you up for success. You can't just say, I'm going to retire and then have nothing to do after retirement. And when I say nothing to do, just sitting at home watching the news is not going to cut it. You got to find some purpose in your life, whether it's volunteering, whether it's hobbies, working part time, doing content creation like we're doing here. You got to find something that's going to give you that joy and that validation. Because if you spent your life in a 9 to 5, and that's all you know. And then you go home and you just sit, you're just going to languish and you don't want that to happen, right? So then there's the second channel, and that is David in Progress. And yeah, that's David in Progress, one word. And David is also a former HR executive and cancer survivor. And his motto is financial independence and living your best life. And when David was in his cancer battle, he had realized he wanted to retire early. And like me, corporate America decided, now we're going to lay you off first. So he also retired early in his mid 50s, but he had a plan to retire early anyway. So when he was laid off, it didn't really derail his plans. And so now he's sharing his not only his expertise about the high level financial planning, because he also doesn't go into deep dives around specific types of stocks and things like that. But he does share from his HR background things that people need to be aware of from an HR policy and benefit perspective. And he helps people see you want to maximize your HSAs, you want to maximize your 401ks, you want to not leave any penny on the table that the company is going to give you to help you move over into retirement. And he has videos, like from the life aspect, from that HR aspect, and I think you're really going to get a lot of practical advice from him. Then there's a completely different kind of channel, and it's Hope to Prosper. And Brett is a former IT leader who also retired after being laid off. And he retired on, like he says, less than $1 million, and he's living his life. He's not on a full on bore entrepreneur. He's doing a little bit aside here and there, but he's just really trying to empower people to see that you're not your job. And once you leave your job, you've got to find purpose as well. And he does this by sharing his insights and his thoughts by taking us on his walks through the beaches and the trails here in Southern California and on his camping trips and his hiking trips through a lot of our national parks. So you get a little bit of perspective and you can see just how he is turned his lemons into lemonades, and he's trying to get everyone, all the rest of us, to see leaving work early while you're still in your go-go years and you can go off and you can do these adventures. It's probably in your best interest. So check Brett out too. So next up is Pennies to Dollars, and it's run by Bonita, and she retired at the age of 57, and her husband still works, so that's kinda like my situation. But on her channel, she shares, how simple living is the way to go and to have actually a really good fruitful retirement, because the more simply you live, the longer your retirement dollars will go. But she does it in a way that shows you're not giving up anything. You might be being frugal, but you're not being miserly, and there's a complete difference between the 2. And, she learned a lot of this from her Depression era parents. She was one of 6 children. And so while they lived this, frugal lifestyle, they never felt like they didn't have anything. And, it kind of resonates with me too, because I am, the youngest of 6. And, I had some very frugal parents, but I never felt deprived and I never felt like I was missing out on anything. So check out Bonita's channel. My next channel is Happy on Monday. And Julie is a retired elementary school teacher, and she shares her journey to early retirement at the age of 58 and a half with less than a $500,000 retirement fund. Over 8 years and into fire, and she was able to build up this nest egg and retire. And on her channel, she shares a mix of encouragement and inspiration in her Tuesday videos, but then her Friday videos go into a lot of facts about retirement and debunking myths about retirement, as well as sharing her bucket strategy and her financial strategy. She actually goes into the numbers and she'll show you, how she's spending down on her buckets, how she's staying within her budget, and then also how her YouTube channel kind of plays into it a little bit too. So check out Julie. And then this last channel came to me by a sheer fluke, and it's Joe Kuhn. Joe chose to retire at the age of 54 because he discovered his passions were no longer aligned to his career, and he ditched corporate America. So he went on this quest to try to teach people and coach people to hopefully live their best lives. And how he came to me wasn't because of his retirement content. My channel is about using my caregiving stories to try to prod you and motivate you into planning for the life you want to live in, your golden years outside of retirement, because you need more than a retirement fund in order to do that. And Joe actually posted a video about a month or 2 ago that talked about what he went through trying to find a nursing home for his mom. They had made the decision, mom could no longer be at home and they had to find a nursing home. And he shares 4 lessons from that. And so that was my first video that I saw of his, and I could completely resonate with it, had to put a comment on it, let him know, hey, been there, done that, completely understand what you went through, heart goes out to you. Then about maybe a month ago, he did a follow-up on that video, and I watched that, and more lessons learned around, the whole ordeal. And if you've ever, had to take care of a parent, you can completely understand. And I guess because I watched and commented on those 2 videos, when he posted this video this week, it popped up in my field and I had to watch it because it said, I'm going to talk to you about my 12 income streams. And that made my ears perk up because I also have a video about the fact that when you are an early retiree, you're not just sitting home. People just assume that you just sit at home and you're not doing anything and you're not working. Or they think that, hey, YouTube is everything that you need in order for you to, live your best life, or you can live on just your retirement accounts. And this is what I love about this video is he dispels that myth. He has 12, that's 10 plus 2 in order to sustain his early retirement lifestyle. And it was something that I think everybody needs to see because it really dispels the myth of all of these, YouTube is easy. You can, quit your 9 to 5 and come to YouTube and get all this money. And he was really open and honest. It took him 3 years before he was finally monetized. And, that first year, he wasn't making the money that he is making now. So you have people who are out here not just giving you encouragement, but also giving you the truth and the fact. So my recommendation is watch these channels or channels that are similar like them if you are looking to figure out how to make more money in early retirement, how to stretch your retirement dollars, how to save and invest and secure your retirement, because those YouTube gurus are not going to teach you that. They're just going to throw you into their Ponzi scheme of, I'm going to keep giving you these claims that sound so awesome and so wonderful that you're going to keep clicking on my videos and watch my videos, and my watch time is going to skyrocket, which means I'm going to get a lot of ad revenue, but you're not making a dime. So do your homework, find channels that resonate and tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear, because that's what's going to help you have a well-rounded early retirement. So go ahead, check out these channels, tell them Aging on Your Terms with Vicky sent you, and if their content resonates with you like it does with me, subscribe, show them some love. And if you want to hear more about how I'm not sitting at home waiting to die, check out this video. Thank you so much for watching.